Tonight, two Florida lawmakers are calling for new gun control laws, and they're not apologizing for politicizing the issue after the Vegas massacre. ABC Action News anchor Paul Legrone is here with a deeper dive into where Florida voters stand on this divisive issue. Paul.
Yeah, interesting results here, Jameson. Recent research from USF and Nielsen, they partnered up on this, and it reveals that the older you are in the state of Florida, the more likely you are to actually favor a ban on semi-automatic assault weapons. In fact, above the age of 80, 60% favor a ban. And 89% of a certain group, non-owners and gun owners, actually think the mentally ill should not be allowed to buy a gun. But this is essentially where the common ground ends and the division starts.
3 days after the Vegas massacre, a night of terror that's garnered the headline, "The worst mass shooting in American history."
We honor them with action. That's what we always say in Orlando.
Renewed calls today for gun control laws from Orlando, the scene of the previous worst mass shooting in American history just 1 year ago. Orlando State Senator Linda Stewart and Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith proposing a new bill that would ban the sale of semi-automatic weapons and high-capacity magazines in Florida. It also calls for comprehensive universal background checks on gun purchases.
We can send our thoughts, we can send our prayers to Las Vegas, but let's send this bill to Tallahassee.
They can send it to Tallahassee, but it may fall on deaf ears, like it did last year when the same two lawmakers filed the same two bills, and they were never even heard in committee.
It's very likely that the temperament and the weighing on this issue will be a little bit different and more careful than it has been in the past.
But even after Vegas, the window for both sides to understand each other may last only as long as the news cycle.
People become very worried and very angry at the same time. And it is a time when they're more attentive to the issue and more willing to think about doing something to deal with it. But will it become partisan very quickly? It already has.
It already has, and what happens when the TV cameras go away from Vegas. But if you look at where there is some common ground on this issue, the numbers from the Pew Research Center suggest that the two sides actually come closer together a bit when you take the issue away from the guns themselves, the kinds of guns, and focus it more on who should be qualified to buy them. That may be the starting point.